Hey guys, it's Gabrikia here. Today I'm going to tell you all the story of Max Fightmaster, America's true #1 hero. He was born in 1928 in a log cabin he built on his own. At age 7, he outgrew his father and began to own his own plantation. Now that plantation engrossed him a massive amount of money, so much money that he was able to build the log cabin that he was born in. Now, after that sinks in, he was sent into the army, where he became a drill sergeant after 5 days of laying in the mud tied to a post, no food, no water. Not as a punishment, but just because he simply wanted to show the other troops how much better he was than them. And after proving his point, he single-handedly took on a mission denying any other type of help. And while flying the plane to Vietnam, he noticed through the rearview mirror there was a terrorist sitting in the back. Now that terrorist pulled a string and some things went boom and he went flying into a tree. Now when he regained consciousness, now keep in mind this is the first time he had ever been to sleep, so he didn't know what had happened. He was confused for I would assume, the first time in his life. He wakes up covered in brush, leaves, whatever you want to call it, surrounded by Vietnamese with them blow darts, them little, what do you call them? They're like Speedos, kind of. And they lock him up in a bamboo cage. It's only 2 square foot. Just for reference, that's about like this. Yeah, about like that. Now, he was cramped up in that cage for over 8.5 months. Every day, he saw an eagle fly across and then fly back with a fish. And he began communicating with that eagle. And after about 4 days, that eagle started dropping off some fish through the crate holes just for him to eat. And he was able to get enough nourishment and sustenance off of that to survive and bide his time waiting for an opportunity. Now, during the following months, he kind of began to communicate with some of the guards. And the guards knew that he wasn't a threat, or they thought he wasn't a threat, so they just joked around with him and stuff. And one day, he asked the guard for a glass of water. Well, that was his biggest mistake. The guard's biggest mistake, anyways, by not giving it to him. The guard instead spit on him. Well, what was Max Fightmaster's response? He tried to reach through that cage, but he was just that short from being able to grab that guard who would not give him his hydration. And so what's the guard's reaction? He pulls out a machete and chops his arm off. And that was the guard's second fatal mistake. Max Fightmaster had been training in telepathy ever since age 4. He used it to give his father wedgies as a kid. He thought it was funny because it made him chuckle. Anywho, so he telepathically controls his hand to reach into the guard's back pocket, pull out a little scalpel, and stab him right in the back, and the guard falls over flat over the cage, drops the keys down into the cage, and Max Fightmaster is able to escape. Now, once he breaks through the cage, there's a whole troop of people, at least 100 people. And he has no guns. There's some ammunition laying around, but what are you going to do with that with no gun? The only thing you can do. He grabs a handful of that ammo, crams it in his mouth. Bullet holes everywhere. Blood, brains, teeth are flying. Everybody died instantly the next day. He looked up into the sky. That eagle was coming back through. He did the hoo-hoo. That eagle soared down, picked him up by the hood of his jacket, flew him back to America, where he married Marilyn Monroe and lived a long, happy life until he finally decided not to die, but to just move on to another realm, and was reincarnated as Chuck Norris. That is the story of Max Fightmaster, a real American hero.